I just wanted to make a video real quick about this verse. This verse is so relevant in my life, and it can really solve every piece of worry or whatever people call as anxiety. Listen, James chapter 1 verse 2. Consider it pure joy. So to consider something is to think about it. Pure joy is the most, it's, what both words mean, pure and joy. I don't know how else to break that down, but to consider it pure joy. So you have to understand that the next thing it's going to talk about is what you're supposed to consider pure joy. My brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds. So it's telling you in that verse there to consider it joy when you face trials, all different kinds. Now just listen for a second, because you know that the testing of your faith produces means to, it multiplies, you make it becomes. So because you know that the testing of your faith, so it's all temptation, that's all the battle between us and ourselves, spiritual and physical, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So it creates that perseverance, meaning to go forward and, continue to go even when things are difficult, right? So consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, when you face trials of many kinds. So when things are hard, understand that's a happy time. When things go bad, it's happy, because you know that test is going to produce something that's going to make you go above and beyond. So verse 4 says, let perseverance finish its work. Meaning it's not finished until it's finished, right? So understand that if you're going through something hard, let it keep going. Let be there. Understand that it's hard, but let it finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So when you're going through something hard, understand that you're just going through something. Be happy about that, because something good's coming next. That's what this says. This gets rid of every reason for people to worry. Let perseverance finish its work. But in the verse before, it says, the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So let your faith continue to be tested, is what this next verse is saying. Number 4, let perseverance finish its work. But perseverance is coming because your faith was tested. So when your faith is tested, continue to, take those tests. Just pass them. Pick God every time. Then you'll pass the test. Consider it pure joy. I can wait. Pure joy. Just to know those two words together, pure joy. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. If you actually dissect what this is saying, you shouldn't worry about anything. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So whenever something bad is happening, become happy, because when it's done, you'll be mature and complete and not lacking anything. That not lacking anything, that's in your mind. That's has nothing to do with riches, right? If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. But when you ask, you must believe and not doubt, because the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. That person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. This verse is so important to me because, not this verse, this chapter, because I read it and I understand what it's saying. When things are hard, get happy. Get excited. Know that good things are coming your way. And you're going to persevere, which means you're going to the top, which means further than where you were before the trial or tribulation of many kinds, like the Bible says, right? But also when you get down to verse 6, but when you ask, you must believe and not doubt. I feel like I never doubt God. However, let's go to the next part of that verse. Because one who doubts is like a wave of the sea, blown and tossed by the wind. Now I can relate to maybe spiritually being, and I don't think it's because of, I don't think I doubt the Lord at all, but maybe I'm doubting the situation. Maybe I'm doubting that God would get me through it. So if I'm not focused on God when I'm going through it, I will miss this right here. This is a guidebook to live. There is a rule book to live, and you can walk very happy and have a good life if you follow the rules. So when we get down, and I don't think I'm doubting, I have to go to the top and remember that I must be doubting when things get hard, because I'm not considering it pure joy. Oh my goodness, I'm excited. Things got difficult. Oh, what's that mean? What's coming next? And I struggle with that person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. I felt personally convicted by that verse for a long time, so I had respect for what it was saying, and I feel like I understood. But I also felt so convicted by that bottom part that I couldn't respect the top part without getting to verse 6 and then telling myself I don't doubt, but then getting to 7 and feeling like that person should not expect to receive anything from the Lord. Such a person is double-minded and unstable in all they do. I felt that hit me, and not until making this video did I realize that what that means by doubting. That means when the trial of many kinds come along, that's when you have to consider it pure joy. It says it right there. Because then I must have been doubting. Every time I worried or felt dismayed, it must have been worry. It must have been doubt, because I didn't say, oh my gosh, I lost my car. Or, I lost my car. Oh, I'm excited. I'm happy, genuinely considering it pure joy to go through something. It's really hard to do it when something bad is happening. But that's why we have to get down to verse 6 all the way through 8, because I love the Lord. I don't want to doubt. I want to utilize this rule book. This book will show you how to walk through life and prepare you for the next day if you apply it. Yeah, James is a short book in the Bible, but it's very good. So it'll put you on the spot. It'll tell you about yourself. But if you want to hear something true, the whole entire Bible is the truth. However, the chapter of James is short, and if you take it verse by verse and internalize it and utilize it and apply it, then you'll be okay. And I think I'm going to be even better tomorrow than I've been any other day in my life, because just making this video, because I've been over and over this book in the Bible, but just now did I come to a revelation of, because I continued until just this evening, just now, to say, but I don't doubt God. I didn't say, hey, I don't believe in God out of my mouth, but if I'm not considering it a win when something bad happens, then I'm doubting God. That's what this verse says. We win in. Consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. So we're supposed to get excited when something crazy happens. Not if you walk yourself into it, you keep walking yourself into it. That's foolish, and there's other places in the Bible to tell you about that. But just in general, when things go bad and it's not of your own doing, you're supposed to get happy. And it'll smooth right on over, because it says the testing of your faith produces perseverance. So being tested is that trial that you went through. And then the perseverance, when it finishes its work, may you be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So this is really a way to tell you don't have to worry. You're supposed to get happy when bad things happen. Okay, God, what you about to show me? Because I'm supposed to consider it pure joy when I face trials of many kinds. So I guess that's my new thing, from here on out. I guess when something seems dismal, I'm going to celebrate because this verse right here tells me to. Sorry about the raspy voice. I had some extra kids over this evening. Some play dates, some arts and crafts, science experiments. I don't know what Oobleck is, but I guess we tried to make it. We'll try to make it again tomorrow. But we had some friends over. The kids had some friends over. And, there was a lot of repeating myself to all the children. So, yeah. Sorry about the voice being dry. I love you all. God loves you all. There's a plan for your life. And if you don't know where to start in the Bible, I really like the book of James is really good. And the Gospels are always a good place to start so you can understand Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Or if you have a hard time understanding it and you need some comfort, you can go to Proverbs or Psalms, which are sort of like poetry in the Bible. Kind of what I always looked at it as. Psalms and Proverbs you can go to, and it can be relevant to almost every situation. You can find something in there to, if it scares you because you're convicted, because you feel like, hey, that's me, but I'm not willing to face that right now. I'm sorry that you struggle with that, because when it's hard, we're supposed to consider it joy. Reading the Bible, when it convicts us, when people that we love that are close to the Lord also tell us about ourselves, when we can see what we're not doing is right. What type of person are we going to be? Are we going to be the type of people that act like nothing's wrong with us and continue to live the way we always have? That's just how I am. I'm not willing to accept that in my life for me. That's just how I am. No. Ain't no way. It's some of the things I do. That's just how I am. No way. I got work to do. That's what I say. That's not just how I am. I got a lot of work to do. And I'm going to try every day. My children deserve that. God deserves that. Just the intricacy of the human body, the miracle that we are within our physical state, even though it's not even the same. Like, your physical body's not the same as your spiritual self, but it's a miracle in itself. Like, God is so amazing and so good. He's smart, And we all trying to crack the code. He shared it with us. He let us in. You don't got to crack the code. You just have to believe the truth, which is the Bible. The Bible is the truth. There's no code to crack. There's no unexplaining of God. It's deal with yourself. It's take a look in the mirror. Allow yourself to be uncomfortable. Allow yourself to be convicted. And be okay with that. And invite it in. And if you can't deal with it at that moment, drop it and come back to it. But continue to allow yourself to be convicted. Continue to be okay with being uncomfortable. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you were blind for a certain period of time and now you know, then just do better now. Don't waste more time and say, you know what, I knew this for a while, but I didn't apply it. I wasted so much time. I could have been helping people and serving the Lord because, I thought that way. But I love you all. I need to take myself to sleep. I've, got a little bit more laundry to do. I'm going to take myself to sleep because I wrote up a new routine and I'm going to practice discipline. It's something I lack in my life. I almost wish instead of the path I took that I would have went to the military. I have terrible with discipline. Not disciplining the children, not like that. Discipline like doing exactly what I'm supposed to do, when I'm supposed to do it, doing it to the best of my ability, and not allowing anything to stop that, I love you all. Thanks for listening again. You can be my family since, me and the kids. You guys are our family. Everybody who loves Jesus, you're my brother, you're my sister. Even if you don't know him yet, you're my brother, you're my sister. And if you don't know him, and you want to get to know him, you just you repent, which means ask for forgiveness for the things you know you've done wrong, the things you don't even understand you've done wrong, and you continue to seek God, and you ask Jesus to come into your heart. You ask for forgiveness, and when I say repent, that means to really bear it all. God already knows. Don't you know that? Even if you were a non-believer, but you looked at the theology and the ideas behind Christianity, right? Like, I mean, it saddens my heart that the world just wants to unexplain God instead of just deal with themselves. Just be good to each other. Just love God. It's sad because I understand the torment that the world's going through. I don't ever stay in it long because the Lord has my back. But I didn't say it doesn't get to me. But I also can't act like these things aren't going on around me and I can't pretend anywhere in my life. That's why I haven't fit in a lot of places. My mind and thoughts go a million miles a minute. I want all these things that I might have thought was a problem with me when I was younger. Maybe they're, gifts. Maybe there's something God's going to use for something else. All right, family. M plus 6. Let me see. Up on the wall, there's 2. There's only 4 of them up on the wall. Right here, anyway. There's pictures of the places in the house. But, man, God is love. I was looking for love in all the wrong places all my life, y'all. And I ended up with these amazing children. I made bad decisions, but my children, even thereafter, I made these decisions. The bad decisions was to, have children out of wedlock, to be promiscuous, to be looking for love in the wrong places, believing that a man was going to do what he said he was going to do. But I had to give him all of me, my body, my emotions, my state of mind, for them to be lying. And I didn't understand that. There's no excuses. They're here now and I love them and I can't call them a mistake. I made mistakes. I should have respected myself. I didn't know I had value. I didn't love myself. I knew about God, and I always stayed going back to church and staying around and proclaim Jesus. And anytime I would get at the doorstep of some sin that a lot of people are taking over, and just like maybe something like with homosexuality, maybe something to do with witchcraft or necromancy or things that I've actually seen and been around and had the opportunity to become a part of, and my feet were at the doorstep, and God has saved me. Drug addiction. God has saved me from even ever having to experience some of these things. Like really, really, when I mess up, I be hurting myself. But I imagine I'm hurting God even more. It says in the Bible that God was grieved by his own creation. That's like, I asked my best friend, why do you think my family doesn't deal with me? Because the mistakes I was making, I was hurting myself. And I was bringing more people into the world. I didn't get it that they were, they were being logical. Don't bring people in this world, but you haven't figured you out yet. I didn't get it. And I asked her, what do you think about that? And she tells me that, that maybe it was difficult for the people that loved me to watch me destroy myself and to bring all these kids into poverty and, not be attached to anything. Couldn't keep a place, My two older boys don't live with me. They're 15 and 12 now. That's up in the left hand side of that picture. But she told me that it's, people that love you, maybe they just got boundaries and said, I'm not going to watch you hurt yourself anymore. I'm not going to sit front row and watch you destroy yourself because I do love you. Maybe it's easier to stay away from the people that you love when they're sitting back destroying themselves and won't listen to nothing anybody has to say. Just hell-bent. I was hell-bent on doing everything wrong. I was so hurt. I was such a hurt little girl because my daddy left me. And, I feel bad for my kids because I don't intend on having another man in my life. I'm not looking for that at all. What God does is on him, and I'll know when it's from him. Because I know exactly what the other end of that looks like. I know what's not from God. I know what that looks like. And so I'm not looking for no man, but the fact that in this stage in their life, they can't get that dad hug, that big, squeezed man, warm muscles, beard, dad hug. It sucks. I hate it for them. And I don't like to use the word hate at all, but I hate that life for them. But it's better than having somebody who continually hurts them and lets them down, or only concern is to get an emotional response out of me, and then call and then block, never visit. Forget about ever contributing to, I'm not even talking about me financially taking care of everything they need, taking them to school, doing everything they need. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about simple, playing games with. You're not playing with me because I don't care about doing like that no more. I hope he's okay, but for my kids to not be able to experience that, I'd rather them not have the dad hug than have the unhealthiness that him and I cannot. I mean, I'm smarter than I realized for a long time, and I chose not to realize that he just wanted an emotional reaction out of me. I mean, their father, the older three's father, was like an in the closet drug addict. I kind of knew because every 6 to 8 months something would happen, but because I didn't see it active, I didn't see it every day. I didn't really even understand. And there was a lot of narcissism, and there was a lot of, I could have left, I should have left, and there was a lot of abuse and stuff, and I ended up having 3 kids with him, and, it's just like I said, I had to stop. I had to put a stop to it. And then I ended up dealing with somebody else, and I guess I just did the same exact thing with the very next person and had a baby to him. So I have 3 to 1 man, and the youngest one has his own father, and it just was the same mess. I'm not proud of any of this. I should have done it the right way from the beginning. I know what I was supposed to do. I didn't. We're here now with it. And I didn't learn my lesson because the very next person that I laid down with, I told myself, that's my boyfriend. There's no way I was with one man for 9 years, and then, I was drinking. I don't drink often, but I was drinking that night. I was upset because of the breakup with the other 3's dad, because I found out some things that I couldn't tolerate, and anyway, I had to put a stop to it, and I put my foot down and got out of that relationship. And then I decided to drink, and I slept with the person I have my youngest son to, and I just decided, if I gave you my body, now you're my boyfriend and you're stuck with me, and that was horrible. I didn't know. No, it was awful, and I didn't learn my lesson. So God, God's not pleased with me, I'm sure. I didn't learn my lesson, and I ended up with a man who dealt with the same, did me the same way, treated me the same way. It's not going to last 9 years. I have an 8-month-old baby to a guy I was with for almost 2 years, and that's craziness. I got a lot of work to do on myself, but I'm not going to wait 8-9 more years, just trying to believe in somebody. I believe in the Lord. He's the only thing that's ever been solid, that ever came through, the only thing that is consistent and constant and strong and exactly what it says. It is what it is. It's the only good thing. God is the only good thing in this world. Yeah, we can say other people, blase, blah. No, God is my children are my life. I love them. God is everything. God is above everything. God, then you put God first, then you take care of yourself, and then it's your children and loved ones. Because you ain't nothing without God, and your children can't be okay if you're not, so you must take care of yourself. I'm in a journey right now for spiritual excellence. I'm in a journey right now towards I lost my thought. I should have went to bed a while ago, but I'm on the path, and I'm gonna keep going until I'm on the path to spiritual excellence, and self-care is another path I'm on. I need to learn to love myself. I have to take good care of me, or else who's gonna take care of them? I love you guys. Good night.